Right, recording in progress. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Thank you, Andrew, for joining us for another valuable life lesson. We on recording. Andrew is going to be busy till he's finished, and then we'll open for a few questions to him, and he will answer. And after that, in the last few minutes, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I'm going to do on Saturday with the training calls. It's time that you need to learn how to farm. We're going to discuss farming on Saturday. Right, Andrew, over to you. Have fun.
Can we just all mute ourselves?
Okay, I'm busy muting. You can carry on.
Okay. Good. Good. Good evening, everybody, and welcome once again. Tonight, I want to talk about another one of the revelations of life. And there's some power in this revelation. It's a two-part thing. So we'll do the second part of it next week. But we're going to talk about communication and how important that is. And there's a reason why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, because the most important part of communicating is actually listening. And we need to listen with understanding, and we need to listen on purpose, not listen in order to respond. When someone is talking or sharing, it's important that you tune in with both ears and allow the information to be processed through your mind, and you can then from there make decisions and gain counsel or gain understanding from that. But it's very important to understand when we listen, we need to listen with understanding. We had an illustrious former president of our country who once stood up on a platform when he was delivering a speech, and he made a statement and said, listen properly. So again, I reiterate, listen properly. All right, we have to listen and listen on purpose. And the scripture that I want to use as a foundation just for what I'm going to share with tonight comes from Psalm 85, verse 8. And it says, I will listen to what God, the Lord, will say. He promises peace to his people, his saints, but let them not return to folly. We spoke last week about folly, foolishness, all right? And here David is writing and saying, I will listen to what God, the Lord, will say. And then in Proverbs 1, verse 5, it says, let the wise listen and add to their learning, and let the discerning get guidance. Very, very key scriptures. If we don't listen, we will land up returning to our folly, our foolish ways. If we don't listen to the instruction of wisdom, as we spoke about last week, and it says in Proverbs, let the wise listen and add to their learning. So they're learning, or listening, on purpose. They're learning from what they are hearing, and they're taking cognizance of that, and then from there, they are able to discern and get guidance in what has been shared. Now, there are a lot of examples in scripture as well where people just didn't listen and the wheels sort of fell off the bus. And often that happens in our lives and in our circumstances where we just don't listen. I mean, think of your daily life at home. My wife's been saying for the last 2 years, I need to go and get my ears tested because I don't listen. But it's very hard to listen when I'm outside at the washing line, hanging up the washing, and she's inside in the bedroom on the other side of the house, putting away something in the wardrobe, and she's having a discussion with me. So, like I said, we need to listen on purpose, listen with intent. And when we do that, it actually shows respect to the person that is sharing with you. Give them your full attention. A lot of communication is actually nonverbal. So if you are engaged with the person that you're listening to, if you are able, obviously, to see them face to face and it's not a telephone conversation, then you engage with them, make eye contact. Look at the expression on their face, look at their body language. Maybe there's signs in the way that they are conducting themselves that maybe have an underlying message in what they're trying to share. Maybe they are hurt, maybe they're broken, maybe they're angry or frustrated, but it's not coming across in their words, but it's coming across in the non-verbal communication. So very important when we apply ourselves to this part of communicating, to listening, that we engage and that we do it on purpose, that we make sure that we commit to what the conversation is or to what is being shared, so that we can take the full essence of it with us. Often when I do premarital courses with couples, I say to them, I don't want them to communicate with each other via text. I want them to make sure in the 6 weeks that we're going to journey together that they contact each other every day telephonically with a conversation, not with a text. And the reason I do that is because, especially when you're sort of young and growing in this relationship, you tend to interpret things the way you want to interpret them. So rather pick up the phone and speak, that they can hear the emotion, that they can see an expression or whatever it may be. If you're doing FaceTime or a Zoom call, whatever, make sure that you are engaging with that person in conversation. And I have like one example of where the wheels they had to polish that value by acting on it, by doing something that would bring out the emphasis of that value in the person. So the couple went off and they had to do this homework.